Dime qué tú quieres, papi. ¿Quieres que lo mueva para ti? Mueve, mueve. ¿Te gusta cuando me muevo así? Así.
Yeah, man.
That's hot shit right there, man.
So what we gonna do? We gonna dub.
King Chaka ENT. Y'all can check out the music on Spotify, Apple, and other services. Thank you, God, for this day. We have lived everything in our life, our health, our family, the guidance you have given us, allow us guidance to the path of righteousness. Amen.
Really, I'ma get that bitch. Revenge is a dish best served cold. She took my son, now my soul is cold. He took my daddy, now my soul is old.
Doing what we do 3 to 4 nights a week. King Chaka ENT.
I got this.
From the
She
back
starts
seat.
shooting.
That dude was like, ow.
What was that?
Outside the car,
That nigga
deputies'
got
body
popped.
cameras capturing the bullets flying through the air.
We got shots fired
couldn't
up
have been
here.
a straight
We
shot.
need
It had
backup
to be-
immediately. Start
Are you-
EMS. Start EMS.
What
We got
the
a
fuck?
civilian. We got a civilian hit.
The deputy.
Looks like we got us another hit.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? How y'all feel? Remember, an educated public cannot be controlled. Learn to be active. The views and events expressed here are totally whack and are not necessarily the views of anyone. So, if a child ruled the world, let's do a thought experiment on it. Let's think about that. What if children were ruling the world? What would it look like, right? So it's like, you know how when you're younger and sometimes you're emotional and you get angry quickly, sometimes you hold your hand behind your back, like, you know how the little kid, they hold something and they holding it behind their back, and then they think you can't see it. Like, well, they know you can't see it, but they think that you don't know that they have it or whatever. It's like it's disappeared or something, other things like that, like just being immature in your emotions and your thoughts, and also thinking that, the way you think is right and your perception is the whole perception. What would that look like? What would it look like if the world was ran by children? Uh, the point I'm trying to make on this is the world that I see today that we live in. What's up? I feel like it's ran by children. I feel like this is what it would look like if it was. What do you think about that, Pat?
That's exactly what I was looking at. I was like, shoot, with the description you making, shoot, it looks like that now.
I was gonna meander my way around to it, but I just jumped into it because I lost my train of thought. But it's like, it's the idea of, like I say, not being mature, totally not, being able to handle your emotions properly, not being able to problem solve, not even attempting to problem solve. You just like, you solve all your problems with a hammer, it's like bam, bam. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, it's total selfishness because, look, I'm gonna tell you, man. Like a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing, like, okay, a lot of people wouldn't care if our politicians was making money, with the investments, that because they were, helping lining stuff up. But there's like millions of people who are suffering and you know, said they like the tax dollars that you playing around with, or moves that wouldn't, you know, we wouldn't normally make because you're trying to push whatever it is that you want to push. Then, like, I mean, and people are hurting because of your selfishness, bro. Like, that's like, man,
and not even caring. Like, let's say you make a mess, and like, you burning the house down, and not even caring that maybe you made it out, and the rest of the people are in there, and it's like, oh well, it's like, what I guess what I'm trying to say is how we've made a mess, mess things up, and then don't want to admit to it, and don't want to atone for it, and don't want to even try to fix it.
yeah. And I would almost kind of put it like it's a burning building. There's like people on the 10th floor that's not able to make it out. People just standing around and just looking like, oh wow, damn, the building's on fire. This is crazy. This is, and like who's ever, lost inside. I mean, it's just kind of like, oh well, you know, people are expendable.
It makes me sad. I think I'm gonna come back to that point. It's a lot to talk about, man. Kyrie. Let's start off with Kyrie, man.
I love it, bro. Like,
What you think about him?
man, I really feel like, all right, Kyrie is he's just sitting there minding his own business. He's ready, just trying to talk about sports or whatever. But here's somebody just trying to push him, trying to, fold him right into some kind of anti-Semitic bag. Like it's like, bro, like you fishing, like you really like trying to make something out of nothing. Like I didn't, what I'm saying? Like he's nowhere near like what Kanye did. Like I said, like I said, I don't 100% agree with everything Kanye's done, but for the most part, if if you really trying to see the good, so you trying to see the daylight through the darkness, you'll find way more good out of it than bad. But Paul Kyrie ain't did nothing but posted a movie that he felt, and he was just trying to share it with people who's on his page with him. You know what I'm saying? He ain't try to get on TV and try to start telling people this and that and the third. You know what I'm saying? It's just so.
Why they want to
I
Kyrie?
that's the thing. And when they feel like it, they want to see you bow. They want to make you bow. They want to send you on their apologetic tour. You know what I'm saying? Like they want, you know what I'm saying? Look, I'm sure he's at the point now where he's like, look, I know what y'all want out of me. You ain't gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I barely fool with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Look, I love basketball and this, that, and the third. But if I knew it was gonna be all like this, I would have went cross seas, played ball, or just not played ball at all. Like I had to start my own little business in the neighborhood or something. Shit, he could have just sold some dope and be all right.
He like, I don't know what I sign up for all this.
Yeah.
Like, I think he just, he's trying to be free, and they trying to keep him from being free in any kind of way. Like
Well, no,
submit, like you say, they whipping him.
but no, see, that's the thing. He ain't trying to be free. He is being free. He is free.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
See, he's not allowing them to try to like slip him into some try to trick bag. Because I mean, anybody that was watching that like saw how he was like the dude is reaching big time, like trying to make something out of nothing. I mean, it's just really simple and plain as that. Trying to make something out of nothing. And like the dude hadn't made no kind of comments against nobody. Like my whole thing is like, okay, if he did something wrong, why is Amazon not, why y'all not going up against Jeff Bezos for even having the movie on Amazon.
I'm telling you, man, that's a very, very good point. I'm glad you mentioned it. Freaking, like, come on. So you coming at this guy because he putting it on his little old platform? Like, who the hell is he? He's just a basketball player. He probably got a good number of followers. But
he didn't make the movie.
He didn't make the movie. He didn't put it on his the damn platform and selling it to the people. And
but see, it's okay. It's okay for others to go on and make plenty of money off of different whatever kind of material content that you want. Like and that's the thing. Like if he was doing that, if he was doing what Amazon was doing, oh yeah, they would have been tried to be like, oh, what is this? What is that? Blah blah blah. But I mean, how many movies is on TV now, or on Amazon Prime, or or on Netflix that could be hurtful to other communities? I mean, there's way too many movies out there like it's offensive to somebody.
Yeah, but the basic point is that they're offended with the movie, and they're mad because they're saying he promoting it, but they not mad at the damn channel or whatever, the station that is kind. You're not mad at the director or the people who made the movie.
That's the whole thing. Like, I mean, that's what lets you know how, like they are racist. Like they are, like, say, bro, they are so intimidated by black people because the biggest problem is that they've been lying about who they are for so long because I mean, really, they're gonna expose themselves because, like, most people, well, I say most people, but because I mean, those that are somewhat aware already kind of knows that they're full of shit.
Yeah, it's really like common knowledge to anybody who's done any amount of
research. Like, I mean, if you've done any kind of like any real research,
basic,
I mean,
bottom level.
If you studied the Bible, like, I mean, most people that study the Bible have tripped over enough things to let you know that those people are not they don't resemble anyone near who they say that they are. And like, people just been like, all right, look, that's just like, most people just kind of like, look, just let them be, this, that, and the third.
Damn clown costume. And that's why what's his name was saying, don't call me Jew, call me Jewish. I think he was telling this game right there. The comedian guy, the white guy, I can't think of him. He was in the black movie. He was in those movies. I hate that I brought him up, but I can't think of his name. I got a bunch of. Not
Rappaport, huh?
Yeah, Rappaport. That's him.
That sucker.
Yeah, wait. Let me, since I mentioned it, hold on. Let me play this right here because this is Jay Litham put this clip together. But
a crazy week. It's been a crazy week. Let me start with Kanye. Let me start with kooky fucking Kanye West. One of the comments that I got about that rant, some support, some say you're talking about somebody with mental illness. Fuck your mental illness. Fuck your mental illness. Have you taken your mood stabilizers, Kanye? I took mine this morning. I'm on 20 mgs. Lexapro. That's what I'm on. 20 mgs, 20 milligrams. Did you take your mood stabilizers? It's 3:53 p.m. Have you taken your mood stabilizers today? It is 3:53 p.m. Forget it's 3:53 p.m. Do you know where your kids are? It's 3:53 p.m. Have you taken your fucking mood stabilizers today? And that's just not going for Kanye West. It's going for all of us. Because if you need to take your fucking mood stabilizers, take your mood stabilizers. And I'm sick and tired of this. Well, he's mentally ill. No shit, he's mentally ill. And like I said, one of the comments that people on Twitter, because they're like, well, after I ranted, they said, well, black people are the original Jews. Africans are the original Jews. I said, what the fuck does that have to do with what he's saying? Who cares? Who cares? cares? Who cares? They said, well, you know, black people are the original Jews. Africans are the original Jews. I said, what the fuck does that have to do with what he's saying? Who cares?
It has a lot to do with it, sucker.
So I didn't understand that.
They said, well, you know, black people are the original Jews. Africans are the original Jews. I said, what the fuck does that have to do with what he's saying? Who cares?
Everything.
Yeah, I think he's giving away the bag with that. You know, he's giving away the truth with that. You know, he's not arguing with the facts.
No, that's the thing that, because see, somebody right now is probably chewing his ass. It's like, you stupid motherfucker. Like if you don't know how to handle this whole thing, because I mean, we call people anti-Semitic and we go hide somewhere. We shut the fuck up. You know, we accuse them of being anti-Semitic and we go hide because they hadn't done nothing. You know, they don't know what to do when you call them that. Like, you know, they so busy not wanting to offend anybody that as soon as you say that they're doing something, then they're confused. And then, you know, we just go hide and wait, let the dust settle.
Right.
But with him talking about,
he's a comedian though, so I think that's how he gets to get away with this. Because
he is not a fucking comedian.
Eh.
And if he is, he ain't funny. He ain't never been funny.
I gotta say, he's funny sometimes. He's funny in the asshole.
He's so
way.
he's so fucking stupid that you have to laugh at his ass. But no, I don't think he's a comedian. I mean, he's, you know, been in different movies where if it wasn't for black movies, he wouldn't be shit. Like, he's a culture vulture too.
The black community they got love for this dude because he was in the movies.
I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, I mean, a lot of people just kind of let it be because it's like, you know, all right, you know what? Like, look, I'm glad we working. We got this, that, and the other. Hey, yeah, come on, bro, let's do this because we needed a good cracker to be in here. That's going, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, bro, he ain't. And then he ain't a good one at that. I mean, I don't like. I mean, he's really full of shit. Like, I'm sure there's many other people that could have did what he did and better.
Yeah, I like the voiceovers that he does. He does these voiceovers; they're pretty funny. He launched a whole damn podcast show and all of this stuff. So that's why he's doing this. He's just trying to big up his thing he's got going on.
Well, see, but that's, you know what? I mean, God bless him, because with him trying to be able, you know, trying to provide content, is going to let the cat out of the bag. It's going to open up way more conversation for others. But, you know, I know that there's a lot of people that's really afraid to take on, you know, this subject. But like right now, like they're kind of putting it out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they.
So now the conversation is happening because of this.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, by them trying to step on Kyrie, you know, trying to like fold him into this so they can, you know, try to slap him around and give him some of the, you know, like they can only whoop Kanye ass so much at a time.
Yeah, that's so random how they just throw him in the boat with Kanye. Like they tried to throw Ice Cube in the boat. I saw some Cube was like, man, nah, don't even breathe my name. In
that was something that Kanye had brought up his name because, you know, he had a thought, you know, it was just kind of like some stuff from back in the past where. You know, Ice Cube, because I mean, when they used to talk about Jerry Heller, like they had a whole movie, you know, the whole life story, but I mean, of NWA. But when it came down to it, this is all kind of stuff that Ice Cube done spoke about and how they was getting used by this Jewish dude, and so he just kind of mentioned it, and then, you know, of course, Ice Cube like, look, man, don't bring my name up in this. you know, look, don't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't said nothing. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I
Don't
get it. Like,
don't fuck with
yeah,
my bag. I'm
yeah.
shit.
As it said, look, bro. Look, when I was trying to fight this shit, uh, uh, 3 decades ago, y'all asses wasn't nowhere to be found, and was nobody stand up with me. I'm chill. I'm trying to retire
And
with
make
my,
my
you know
money.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
trying to,
gonna come for me right now. I'm good. I'm Hollywood now.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I mean, I think he's been, because I mean, I think he's been able to kind of be in, you know, I don't think he's no ass kisser in Hollywood like that. Like,
Yeah.
he's done enough on his own to be able to make his own way. So, but it's too many others that's around there that's looking for them to write a check, looking for something, one of them to write them a check. So
And that's what's Kyrie so cool about him is that's the same way. Like I was saying when we was talking on the phone, they was try to use that money as a way. Man, he was like during the pandemic, he was like, go ahead. You know what I mean? Whatever.
yeah, whatever. And but that's why he gets so much respect from me and so many others, bro. Because
A
it's
lot of
like,
money. They was throwing around big ass numbers, and he was like, okay, whatever.
y'all do what y'all look. I don't look. Don't bring no more. Like, you know what I'm saying. Y'all don't want, because even then they was the one bringing up all of the attention around it. Like, why y'all trying to bring? You know, y'all trying to front on me and throw me out there. Look, this supposed to have been a personal decision, but here y'all want to throw me out there, just like it's kind of like what they doing now. It's like, look, I'm not taking it, and if y'all trying to make any special requests for me to take it, all right. Well, look, I'm gonna be at the house. Y'all know my number, so you know what I'm saying. When y'all get over y'all little bullshit, y'all stop whining and crying. You know, when the tears dry up, give me a call back. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I love that, man. I love that because you know what you bring into the table. You know, ain't no NBA without Kyrie and all the rest of them. You know what I'm saying? They need
what,
them.
yeah, they do, and that's. I mean, they do, but they don't. But for some of these, I don't know where's he at now. Is he in? He's not in Boston anymore, is he?
Man, I don't follow the sports at all. Don't
Okay, all
let
right.
me play
But
it.
how?
Let's play it. It's Indiana Pace. Who he play for? He
No,
played for
I
the
think
he
is
played
he
for the
in New
Nets.
York? Yeah,
Right.
yeah, he's
Flip.
the Nets. Yeah, I knew
Okay,
he was still on the East Coast.
let me play
And it's a
his
title given
clip.
to Christ, Philippians 2:11. And my name translates in the Hebrew language as Yahweh. So I went on the Amazon Prime. I was like, you know what? Let me see if there are any documentaries on Yahweh.
Let me
And
take
it's a
it back.
title given to Christ, Philippians 2:11. And my name translates in the Hebrew language as Yahweh.
I think that's so important too, because it's like I always say names are really important, they really are. And then it's like he's like, they clip the beginning of this. It's a title given to Christ. And
Hmm.
let me play it.
And it's a title given to Christ, Philippians 2:11. And my name translates in the Hebrew language as Yahweh. So I went on the Amazon Prime. I was like, you know what? Let me see if there are any documentaries on Yahweh. So went in the search bar, typed in Yahweh. That came up. Went out and shared it on my platform. That was my night. In terms of the backlash or what people call it, we're in 2022. History is not supposed to be hidden from anybody. And I'm not a divisive person when it comes to religion. I embrace all walks of life. You see it on all my platforms. I talk to all races, all cultures, all religions. And my response would be, it's not about educating yourself on what Semitism is and what anti-Semitism is. It's really about learning the root words of where these come from and understanding that this is an African heritage that is also belonging to the people. Africa is in it, whether we want to dismiss it or not. So the claims of anti-Semitism and who are the original chosen people of God, and we go into these religious conversations and it's a big no-no. I don't live my way like that. I don't live my life that way. Excuse me. I grew up in a melting pot, and I say a melting pot of all races: white, black, red, yellow, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, and you can see the way I live my life now. I'm not here to be divisive, so they could push their I don't want to say they, because I'm not identifying any one group or race of people, but I'm in a unique position to have a level of influence on my community. And what I post does not mean that I support everything that's being said or everything that's being done, or I'm campaigning for anything. All I do is post things for my people in my community and those that it's actually going to impact. Anybody else that has criticism, it obviously wasn't meant for them.
Hopefully I'm understanding what you said, and I want to make sure I get it right because I don't want to misquote any part of it.
I don't expect understanding from a media conglomerate group that sincerely talks about the game of basketball, and then we bring up religion as if it's correlative at times when it's convenient for people to bring it up. So please just be direct with your question so we can move on from this. I can talk about the game and go home.
That's gangster right there.
I'm telling you, I was about to say that too, because it's like, bro, we talking about basketball anyway. Why y'all even like, bro, like, how does that relate?
Yeah, it's like, dude, I don't know why. Like, I mean, why am I like not really even sure why I'm having this conversation with you in the middle of, you know, I would talk about sports, but you know, since you going there, you know what? Let your nuts hang. Say what's on your, you know what I'm saying? Say what's on your, you know.
Yeah, he's like, basically, let me educate you a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, but not even that. It's just like, all right. So, I mean, obviously, you got some, you know, ulterior motive. So, just be, you know, be clear about what you're trying to, you know, you want to know something. Ask me directly. Look, just come on out with it. Say what's, say what's on your chest.
Say it with your chest.
Say it with, say it with your chest.
Wife, Marlene. Okay.
Am I to take it that this was what you shared was not something that you've even watched? This was you did watch it or either watch it or read.
Read a whole bunch, good and bad, about the people out there.
So then, do you, I guess, understand or not understand those that might imply that that work had anti-Semitic leanings in it? I only ask this because the tweet is still up there, so we're
in 2022. It's on Amazon, a public platform. Whether you want to go watch it or not is up to you. There's things being posted every day. I'm no different than the next human being, so don't treat me any different. You guys come in here and make up this powerful influence I have over top of the adultery of, oh, you cannot post that. Why not? Why not? Everybody posts everything else. You saw the word nigger going up on Twitter, right?
Bango.
I don't hear uproar on that. I'm not here to be divisive on what's going on this or that. I'm not comparing Jews to blacks. I'm not comparing white to black. I'm not doing that. That conversation is dismissive, and it constantly revolves around the rhetoric of who are the chosen people of God. And I'm not here to argue over a person or a culture or religion on what they believe. No, this is what is here. It's on a public platform. Did I do anything illegal? Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Did I do anything illegal? Did I hurt anybody? Did I harm anybody? Am I going out and saying that I hate one specific group of people? So out of all the judgment that people got from me posting, I just, without talking to me, and then I respect what Joe said, but there has a lot to do with the not ego or pride of how proud I am to be an African heritage, but also to be living as a free black man here in America, knowing the historical complexities for me to get here.
But it's not even all those people.
Dang, bro, like drop the mic, bro. He hitting them with jewels left and right. Bing, bing, bing. He said, you know, I'm a free black man.
Mm-hmm. And see right there, like that's the biggest problem. That is the biggest problem because, you know, when you get to that, you know, that level, you making millions, and potentially somebody can interrupt that for you and your family, blah blah blah. The like 99%, if it's, you know, because well he got to be a 0.0 something percent, but most people are gonna just kowtow. They're gonna bow down and they're gonna kiss the ring. Like, shoot, some of them might twerk for them. But I'm say, bro, I give him utmost respect because, like, this could have been totally different. And oh, I'm sorry for using social media for what it was meant for, to share and to like I
And look at the name of the clip. It says Kyrie Irving walks out of interview after arguing with reporter post-game interview.
and it was no
So
argument.
so it's like he just came in there combative, and he was all just like arguing
Well,
with the reporter, and he walked out of the interview. Like, what is
yeah,
wrong
like
with
he
Kyrie?
like he stormed out, like he's angry, like and that's the part that got me when I first saw it too. I was like, because I'm waiting for it to go down. I'm like, wait a minute, what? I thought, wait a minute, what happened?
They-
I had to watch it again. It's like, wait a minute, did I miss it? I must not have a full clip. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And a
that's
lot
what
of people don't watch clips or watch pieces of the clips, and they just go by those headlines, go by those titles. You know what I'm saying? And that's like the news story. And that's how they frame the perspective. That's how they, shape the narrative.
exactly.
And it's like they were attacking him. That's what they should have put in the freaking title.
Really, but I
The
mean,
title should have been they come for
well,
Kyrie out of nowhere and try to lump him in with Kanye on some anti-Semitic shit.
yeah. Let's see if we can trick Kyrie into saying some anti-Semitic rhetoric.
He's gonna say that too, because he's gonna say y'all are looking for a soundbite or clip or something. He said, "Hold on."
So I'm not gonna stand down on anything that I believe in. I'm only gonna get stronger because I'm not alone. I have a whole army around me.
Kyrie, while we're on the topic of promotion, why did you decide to promote something that Alex Jones said?
That was a few weeks ago. I do not stand with Alex Jones' position, narrative, court case that he had with Sandy Hook, or any of the kids that felt like they had to relive trauma, or parents that had to relive trauma, or to be dismissive to all the lives that were lost during that tragic event. My post was a post from Alex Jones that he did in the early 90s or late 90s about secret societies in America of occults, and it's true. So I wasn't identifying with anything of being a campaignist for Alex Jones.
One of the things that bothers me about the society is that a person can't be right and wrong at the same time. What I mean is they can't be right about this thing and wrong about this thing over here. You know what I'm saying? People can't seem to separate that or whatever. Have the imagine, that.
But see, that's the thing, because people can be, but see, when they got something out for you, they'll use anything to try to put you in a box or have a reason for, oh well, we're gonna suspend you, we're gonna fine you, we're gonna take this deal from you, we're gonna do like, if anytime that they're trying to push a certain narrative, because I mean, just like we just said, Jeff Bezos ain't getting bothered. He ain't getting no phone call about the shit being on his platform. You know what I'm saying? He shared something that came off of another platform, something that's public. Like how many other times has this one movie been shared across the world? You know what I'm saying? Like different people have already seen this, and then not to say what else is out there. You know what I'm saying? Look, the whole idea of this, like, it was really weak. Like they couldn't find nothing else, and like I really feel like because of it's not even has nothing to do with his post. It was just like trying to find something that they could.
Because they attacking him because they said, "Why are you promoting that movie?" And then they say, "Why you tweet some quote from Alex Jones?"
Yeah, they're trying to find something. Because
Interrogating this guy.
look, I'm not really an Alex Jones like supporter. I mean, just like like I when you find something that's real information or something that you can agree with, because that's what, like, they did that to people all through Trump's time in office. Like if you mention anything that he did good, they read it. Oh, oh, she's a Trump supporter. You're like, I mean, that was became a curse word to some people. Like, look, do you look at the fucking truth or not? Like, I mean, if you one of those people that's just programmed to anything you hear with their name in it to just shut off, and like it's just a trigger effect for you. Like, I mean, I can't really fool with you because I'm a realist. So, like, regardless of how much of an asshole he is, if he did something right, then, like, okay, acknowledge it and move on. Because if he's that much of an asshole, okay, we'll find some other shit to talk about him for. But if I say, oh, there he got some nice shoes. Oh, you're a Trump supporter now, huh? Like, bro, like you need
Yeah.
to be way more mature than that. Like,
We should be able to separate it. We should be able to acknowledge when somebody does something good, even if we don't like. I could say I don't like this guy, but then I could say what he said was actually fucking true, regardless.
But that's the thing. But that's the thing. Like, I would preference it before. I would be like, look, I don't like Trump no more than the next guy, but he did blah 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 blah. Like, I mean, I had a conversation probably like was it today or yesterday about some of the things that's happening in our government right now. I said, see, right here right now, like I said, as much of I don't like Trump, this would have never happened if he was in office. And it was just pretty much like, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's just the acknowledgement of, okay, this is my opinion, shoot. However, I think people are getting too soft and too, like they get triggered off the smallest stuff. Like, they don't really hear you. Certain things, when they hear one thing, it's like there's already programmed. It's just like the MK Ultra. Like, it takes
Mr.
one
Smith.
little thing. Yeah, it takes one little thing for you to turn into the agent and beat up on whoever is saying something. Like, I dare you to try to make him into something good.
Yeah.
Like,
Mr.
what?
Smith. Let me play the end of this video.
Anything. I'm just there to post. And it's funny. And it's actually hilarious because out of all the things I posted that day, that was the one post that everyone chose to see. It just goes back to the way our world is and works. I'm not here to complain about it. I just exist.
And to follow up on the promotion of the movie and the book.
Can you please stop calling it a promotion? What am I promoting?
Put it out on your platform.
But I'm promoting it? Do you see me me in front of
putting it out there,
the
people
title?
are going to say that you are
Yeah, I put it out there
promoting-
just like you put things out there, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's not
You put
stuff-
things out there for a living,
Yeah,
right?
but
Right, but my
Great,
stuff
great.
is
So
not
let's move on.
filled
Let's
with
move on.
anti-Semitic
Let's
stuff.
move on. Don't dehumanize me up here.
I'm not doing
I'm
that.
another
You're
human
free to
being.
post
I can
what.
post whatever I want.
you
So
can post
say
what-
that and shut it down and move on to the next question.
But Kyrie, you have to understand that by
I don't have to
post-
understand anything from you.
But it's
Nothing.
not me.
Nothing.
By
It's no
posting
people that
what
you're
you
making up,
did.
bro. Move on.
But by posting
Move
what
on.
you
Next
did,
question. Next
anybody
question. Do
is
you
going
guys
to
have
look
any more
at
questions
it
for
and they're
me?
going to say,
You guys have any more
Does he have
questions? Because this is going to be a clip.
anti-Semitic
This is going to be a clip that he's going to marvel at. Is this any more questions?
but you're not answering the question.
Oh, this is another answering your question. Oh my God, let's make another Instagram clip so we could be famous again. Next question.
Kyrie, basketball related.
Anybody else got some questions?
Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie, that was some sucker shit. He sound like a retard. But you're not answering the question. It's like, oh my bad, that's not a good word to say. He seems like a douchebag.
Yeah, man. It's like, but putting it out there on your platform, you're promoting it. The people are gonna say that you're promoting it. Like, okay, well, they're gonna
So
what somebody's
I
got
mean,
to say.
yeah, people got shit to say every day. Like, I mean, if I worried about that, what people gonna say, like, I would commit suicide. Like,
Yeah, Kyrie though, man, exhibiting that Christ energy though. You know,
yes, that's one of the main things. I was like, okay, because I mean, it was, say, bro, it was very, like, I was very proud of how he handled the situation, because I mean, you know, a lot of people would have got flustered and shit. They probably would have cussed him and the fuck, what you and then like really stormed out of there. But he just said all cool and calm. It's like, look, none of y'all control me in any kind of way. For me to get upset about anything you saying or ask, or any kind of comments that you might make, for me to get outside of myself is uncivilized. And you know what? Before I leave, anyone have any other questions? Anyone? Going once, going twice. All right, fuck y'all.
Yeah, man. I love it. I love it. I love it, man. Not afraid to speak their mind, not to feel control, not to be they can't whip him,
Man,
It's like Toby. Like they change your name. Your name is Toby.
for real. Say, but that's what they're looking for. That is exactly what they're looking for. Smith, my name is Smith. Agent
Man.
Smith.
Yep. And they brought out all the high profile Negroes to after Kanye West and Kyrie. So now they gotta be like, wait, I got a clip on that right here. Check this out.
Well, let me ask you something because I it was kind of triggering for me, but I like watching the Ghetto Boys Unloaded. I mean Reloaded. He's probably more but Willie D, like I said, I like Willie D. I always have, cool dude. But when he starts talking politics, it just sounds like he's getting that check. You know what I'm saying? Or either he's just a closet hater of Kanye.
I think a lot of subjects. I'm a fan of Willie D, and I check out his show every now and then. But he should just stay away from those topics. It's just because he doesn't really. Yeah,
exactly. I 100% agree because like it doesn't look good on you, bro. Like I mean it just don't look good on you. It's best that you just don't just leave that subject alone. Like
it's painful to hear him talk about like politics and stuff because I be cringing. It makes me cringe.
yeah, I mean, and that's not the only one, but like to me, it's just like, okay, bro, like out of everything, like you doing just like what the rest of them are doing, bro. Like if he a brother, like I was like, look, and like I'll put a message on there. There's been times because I don't know, maybe I was kind of harsh with one of the comments I made. He sent me his number to text about it or something. And at the time I was just like, man, look, I'm not about to go back and forth with this dude behind this, you know what I'm saying? But this time I was like, send me your number again because we need to talk, because like your voice is really too important to be hearing this out of it.
I think that he doesn't know what he's doing, because overall a lot of his shows are derogatory to black people. He's always making stories, even though he's talking to the black people, he's like family, and then he has good things to say, but he always a lot of his stories are like some horrible thing that a black person did, like
yeah, but I mean, cause see, and that's the thing, like I mean, if somebody mess up one time, it's over for them now with him. Like they don't really have a chance in his world no more if somebody made a mistake. And it's just like, if you without full context, because what I'm saying, like, because the biggest thing that I think he's holding on to is the whole slavery was a choice. But I mean, really, for some people, maybe it was, because just like right now, for some people they choose subjugation over true freedom when they could do things differently. And like I said, I mean, maybe I'm a weirdo or whatever, but I mean, I just see things, I know I see things differently. And he's a businessman. Like I'm sure he's seen or heard different perspectives, but it sounds more like, to me, it sounds more like hating than it is, you know, really just trying to.
I just think he don't understand the stuff. Let me play this.
He's a smart dude. I don't think.
That's when.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me play this. I mean, I don't know about that.
Comfortable, you know, because too comfortable. Brothers can't afford to get too comfortable, you know, because that's when you become the pawn. That's when they use you as. Anytime white people want to smooth some shit over, they go get that rich nigga and put you on TV.
Some people are conscious, some people are not. I could tell he's not conscious. He doesn't really care what's going on. But us, I know that you know, the game that we used to love and we promote, it brings people together. And it hurts me sometimes when we have to sit up here to talk about stuff that divides the game. Now we got to answer for what this idiot has done.
To represent the people, you know? You asking your questions like, Damon, now that you made this $13 million, and we're not counting. Now that you made all this money, let me ask you this. Let me just throw this out at you. You respond any way you want. Is there racism in America?
Chuck, I think he should have been suspended. I think Adam should have suspended him. First of all, Adam's Jewish. You can't take my $40 million and insult my religion.
You be sitting there thinking about that paycheck talking about.
I can't believe that we ain't talking about that. We're talking about this idiot.
No, sir. If in there is, I ain't seen none. Too comfortable. Brothers can't afford to get too comfortable. You know?
If and it is, I ain't seen it.
Wow. I remember that bit back in the day. But oh my God. Barkley just got his little raise. He just got bumped up to like around the same amount of money the rest of the guys was making or something. I think just like less than a month ago, like he, you know, so he like, I ain't messing up my check for y'all. Sure, what you want? What you want me to say? How you want me to say it? I said, what you want me to say to him, boss? Just degrade him as much as I can. Okay, I could do that easy. I hate niggas. I mean, not niggas. I hate black folks. I love niggas. I hate black folks. Them uppity black ones.
You kind of sound like him. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Like some of these people, man. Like and then Shaq, you know, I love bro, Shaq is as rich as Shaq is. He shouldn't give a damn. But he you know what I'm saying, he, you know, his sororities, it's not sorority, his fraternities crap, that's why he do it.
Yeah. So, but that's what it is, though. That's what they parade out. They remember we talked about LeBron and what I want to say, he didn't get the jab and then he decided to get it or whatever. I remember he came out and said, "Yeah, I did my research and I decided to go on and do this."
Yeah, I don't think he did it. I that's me personally. I don't think he got the shot. I think he say he got the shot just to be so that, you know, because it was somebody was saying there's like that's what had, you know, like was presented to them. Like, look, we don't care if you take the shot or not. You just need to say that you taking it or you took it. Like that's like even no, not why am I about to say Creflo Dollar? Well, all of them almost the same to me. The big TV preachers. Damn, this is the second time I try to call his name and I can't think of it. The one from live in Dallas, dark skin, big head, bald head.
I can picture him, but I can't think of his name, man. I know who you're talking about.
TD
Jakes, yeah.
Yeah, him and his wife on TV going try to take the shot and like make it look all good and stuff. Try pretty much I guess trying to get his what you call it, his followers, his his sheep to go on and get the shot because he getting it. Yeah, a lot of them I don't believe really did it. I think they just did whatever was necessary to keep their position.
Yeah. Let me read this. It says, this is a quote. It says, "You can safely assume you've created God in your own image when it turns out that God hates all the same people you do."
Ooh. Ooh. That's one thing. I hate is a strong word. I don't know if I really hate anybody. Now, yeah, I strongly dislike some people, but hate that's a whole nother level to the game. And I don't think God hates anybody either. But I get what they're trying to say here, but there's always gonna be some foolishness in this world, and trying to fight every little single bit of it is just gonna give you anxiety.
You heard about the guy from the Migos?
Yeah, man. Police chief, what?
This one, it says, Houston police chief defends hip hop following Migos rapper's death. Houston police chief calls for sit down amid death. Let me play his statement.
And I know, and evident from this city and people who I have a personal relationship, a lot of great people in our hip hop community, and I respect them. But back to Takeoff, I got many calls from Houston and outside of Houston, and everyone spoke of what a great young man this is, how peaceful he is, what a great artist. The hip hop community gets a bad name. And I know, and evident from this city and people who I have a personal relationship, a lot. And I'm calling up on everybody, our hip hop artists in Houston and around the nation. We got to police ourselves. It is so many talented individuals, men and women in that community who, again, I love and I respect. And we all need to stand together and make sure nobody tears down that industry. And I'm calling to start here in Houston. And I'm calling up on everybody.
That's a good message, bro. Like, especially like us policing ourselves, because I mean, there's shit that's going on all the time. I mean, honestly, for him to be as high profile as he is, I mean, he probably shouldn't have been in a potentially janky dice game. Like, bro, you just need to go to the casino. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's, I mean, I just like if I had the money that he has going, like, and I'm gambling, and I'm sure, honestly, because some of the people that they said that they were around, he wasn't like the richest person there. You know what I'm saying? But still in all, you just never know. Like, some of the same bullshit just like a month or so ago happened in Houston that, I mean, it's not necessarily like, I'm going to say the same situation, but it's just, you just never know. Because some of these people, like, this is really sad, bro, because like I said, everybody's talk about how he was the one, he was the most talkative, and like he kind of made the situation really what it was, like his involvement with other rappers or other artists Like he was the one that was kind of that made things, pop. But I don't know. I've heard some different things, and I'd rather not, implicate because it's
yeah, speculating. That's why I don't even, let me play this right here.
1 million followers since his death. I don't understand why people do this. Why do people follow someone after they passed away? Don't you think they could have used that support while they were still here to receive it? Like, what makes you click the follow button after they pass? Just to be nosy, just to see what's going on? Now you concerned and you care and you're interested? It's just weird to me. Are you looking to see if they post again from the afterlife? Like, what are you looking for? I remember after my son passed, I got a lot of followers right after he passed away. And I'm like, why y'all here though? Are you here to see me sad and how I respond to the grief? Like, what's your intention? Why do y'all think that is? And if you are this type of person that follows after the death, tell us why. Yo, he gained.
And Tony Baker, and I've been following you, Tony Baker. I know you ain't gonna see this, but I've been following you way before that shit. So yeah. Anyway,
I didn't even know who that dude. I didn't even know who he was. I just thought it was just an average dude, regular dude. Who I guess we could talk about that later. I don't know who is Tony Baker.
He's the one. He's mostly known for those voiceovers that he does on these like animal videos. That's what I like the most from him. But he's a comedian. He's been in movies and shit, like little small time, but he's been blowing up.
Okay.
He's funny.
Yeah. But I mean he makes a good point. I mean, what's the purpose? You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? To try to follow somebody after they did is like
what, they're not gonna post no more now. Like, what's the point in following? Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. Why are we like this? What is wrong with us?
Don't put me in the box with you niggas. No, I was kidding. But nah, I don't know why people do stuff like that, bro. It's really crazy. And for some people it's probably unconscious. Like, you know what I'm saying? They done sit there and watch all these different videos now, you know what I'm saying, just to be able to, I don't know, is that, I mean, do you get to see more videos or in posts of a person because you're subscribed to them?
It ain't gonna be no more posts if it's his Instagram. People usually post from their phone or whatever. Like, regular people post from their phone. Ain't gonna be no more posts unless somebody, his family member posts or something.
No, I understand. Yeah. I understand that, but I think for some people, because like if I let's just say I found somebody I thought was pretty interesting or something, and I end up on their page. When I subscribe or follow or whatever, I might go back and look at shit that was on there before. You know what I'm saying? I done sat and, looked at somebody's page for
scroll the older stuff. Yeah, for sure. So, stalking people.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I've done it. I do it. I be on the internet. I'm an internet person, so I totally know what you're talking about. Yeah, so but still, like, that's still crazy to follow them though. You could just go and look.
I think it's still kind of weird, especially when you hear it like that. Because I mean, I don't never done it to anybody that's passed, but I always do go back and kind of look at previous stuff they've done and see their history. Because I mean, if you just not hearing about somebody,
well, the kids. That don't work for the younger generation because they delete all of their old pictures. Sometimes they'll have just like a couple of pictures or like no pictures. They delete all their old stuff because they know everyone goes back and look, so they delete them.
Okay.
That's how it is now.
All right. Well, hey. I guess like for me, I probably got about 15 years worth of shit on here.
Mine too. I'm proud of my past, whatever, man.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't have like multiple pages. Like, well, somebody has what you call it, hacked my page or whatever. But I was able to get my page back. I didn't have to start a new one. So
Yeah, man, I did what I did, and it is what it is. Like,
yeah, I mean
uh,
that's how I am. And shoot, sometimes it's a good like for me. Like the memories is great. You know what I'm saying? I remember. I was like, oh damn, I remember that
yeah,
shit.
because
You know what I'm
sometimes
saying?
I go through down memory lane through my timeline. It
Yeah.
would take a long time to get back to the beginning. I post a lot too. Let me play this right here.
Unless you control them psychologically. So in many ways, we enable white supremacy. And if all the white people were to leave the planet today, white supremacy would still continue because we've been so indoctrinated with white supremacist tendencies. There's a brother, a psychologist out on the West Coast named Dr. Wade Nobles. And Dr. Nobles likes to say that the essence of power is the ability to define someone's reality and make them live according to that definition as though they chose that definition. And so today our standards of beauty, our standards for success, what does it mean to be happy? All of these things are in many ways, I think, instilled in our minds by a white supremacist culture. And those are the things that we're fighting. I think you can control a people, as I said, physically, unless you control them psychologically. So
what you think?
Rest in peace to Dr. I forget how to say his name, Winoko, but I believe that to be very true. A lot of people have, they've been into that programming for so much. I mean, just think about what we're seeing in Africa right now. I mean, even like, some of them are trying to throw some things away, but there's still gonna be a lot of things, a lot of residue, even outside of, trying to push the religion out and this, that, and the other, because you got somebody who like enough to, like they controlled your grandparents, your, great, what I'm gonna just say it. I'll say great grandparents, your grandparents, to where they started teaching you those things themselves. So from birth, like somebody living today, like they already have generations of it in their DNA to be what they are, to be how they are, and it's really takes a lot of work. Like you have to really be focused on not being, falling into that, that synchronal, what's a synchronology, synchronicity, because you'll start just doing the same kind of stuff that it's embedded in your who you are now, and if you're not purposely trying to remove those things from your life, like it's there, it's gonna stay there. Like, I mean, even like some of the Hispanics now, the white Hispanics are starting to kind of, even though that they were oppressed to some extent by these same people, they're starting to try to take on what they were doing. What they, what I'm saying, the same things that they hated about it, like some of them have started picking up and doing it themselves because now they fit into that mold. Like, I mean, the generation of their family that was not quite as light as they are, that dealt with some of the same shit, now they want to pick up and do.
I was just watching a video about that, and it was specifically talking about immigrants that come over and like they take on the like aggressive nature towards other immigrants to kind of mold into the, to fit in or whatever.
Yeah, and you're supposed to be here to advocate, like you're here to be able to help. Like, I mean, that's just like with us, like we fought, like we went through some great lengths to make sure to be able to allow other black immigrants to be able to come here. For a long time, like there was no black immigrants allowed. Like there was none. and we fought so that others could come, and then they come when they do get an opportunity to come. Now, some, not all. I don't want to put that on everybody because it's not all. I know a bunch of immigrants, black and white, brown, whatever, but some of them will come and try to treat us bad where we've made it available for, we're the ones who fought for you to be able to be here. And it's sad, bro, because like, I mean, the programming is strong, bro. That's all I can really see out of it.
Let me read the caption. This is the caption that underneath this. It says, repeat after me, the devil is a frequency. It really doesn't matter what race you are. You can exist as a devil regardless of race. Where race matter is the ability to exercise the frequency that's bestowed upon you. Think of it this way. Different cars perform better due to the quality of gas. Even though Supreme works great with some cars, and some cars can even run for a while on Supreme gas, but eventually, if you keep putting the wrong gas in the type of car that's not built for it, the car will wear down quicker. Same as with diesel and regular gas. It's the same with spirituality. Religion is the worst type of gas for a person's brain because eventually the lies of religion will wear off, and religion causes people to not think critically. They start to think inductively instead of deductively.
Whew. Wow. Great analogy. I like the way they put it. I mean, because I never really put the devil, Satan, or whatever into the frequency conversation. And I mean, it's true. I mean, everything has a frequency. So I mean, you know, I think the language they used kind of took me, you know, for a second. But yeah, I mean, that's true, bro. I mean, and you just really are what you are. If you know what I'm saying. But sometimes, you know what I'm saying, if you're not focusing on doing good or being righteous, you're gonna fall right into the same old kind of the trap, just like anything else. Like you gotta. I mean, being good is something you gotta be on purpose to do that. Because other shit is easy to do. Just, you know,
It's a lower level frequency. The one that goes to my mind is the idle hands, the
idle mind,
something like that. And
idle
so
mind is the devil's workshop.
Yeah. So it's your lower self. It's your lower self. Whenever you go into those lower vibrations, that's when you can take on these, you know, energies that maybe even be beyond you. And maybe you don't even have control over yourself no more. It's like you're getting controlled, like you got that demon on your back.
Yeah. Because I mean, honestly, a lot of, if you think about it, I mean, music is the quickest way to get to lose your, you know, your morals. Like, I mean, somebody could be done just left church, you know, hearing some good hymns and, you know, great gospel songs, but then you start hearing that boom bap, shoot, you can be to start the twerking and doing all kind of shit just because you hear it. Those like, you know, we're speaking about frequencies, so that's what I'm saying. Like, it can easily change you within moments. Like,
and that's funny because we're talking about the conversation about the internet is saying that, you know, the music of talking about killing in hip hop, you know, that culture is causing this thing, and the death of the guy from the Migos is really bringing the conversation up a lot.
Well, it brought it up, but that's I mean, I get where you're going. I hate to interrupt you, but that one was not about music.
That's what a lot of people are saying too, because it was, but anyways, the details don't really matter. Like because they say that it wasn't no dice game. It was you know, it was outside of bowling alley. But anyways, those details don't even really matter. What I'm saying is the frequency of the music. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about frequency. So yeah, this demonic ass freaking music talking about killing and drugs, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna have an impact. It's bringing people down to this frequency.
Well, and that's, look, I'm gonna tell you, when you really think about it, those frequencies, these artificial, then I guess it wouldn't be artificial frequencies, but the artificial sounds, the artificial music is what's really the problem. Because I mean, you get with the Roots, you listen to the Roots, and they playing live band instruments. Those frequencies, for whatever reason, you're on a different high than when you know, or like you can feel the music differently.
Yeah, I always say it's because of human error. Because, you know, I used to do music and I like analog. I like to record analog because you get the human error in there. And I think that's where you're talking about as far as live. But if the music has a low frequency, it has a low frequency. It'll even have it live because that'll be what it was designed to do.
Well, because see, I think that because I mean you're right now. I mean, because you can play live music to where it's not. I mean, you think about some of the rock and roll with the way they play the guitar. A lot of the stuff that's not on a healthy frequency is going to, you know, give you a different effect than if it was, you know, set at a
so because through the electronics, even the Roots is gonna have a good soothing frequency. That's gonna, whether it was live or through the electronics.
Yeah, because I mean, I guess that you can get it, but I mean, it just has to be at the right tones, and that's the part, because they said like Kanye's been talking about it a lot. The 808 is like a low vibrational sound, like you know, it's a root chakra sound. So
yeah, he was talking about distortion and stuff. Yeah, that's his lane though. That's where he really knows what he's talking about. Let me play this clip because I think this goes with what you were saying.
We're at risk of losing it, but why do you think this is an important fight? Look, it's important for so many reasons, but the first of them, even from my own experiences at some of those elite institutions, Tucker, is that affirmative action simply does not work to even help the very people it's supposed to help. Because if it did help those people, then you wouldn't need to apply it to the same groups to get into boarding school, who then need to be the exact same groups who benefit from it and getting into college, who then need to benefit from the exact same thing getting into graduate school, who are then the exact same groups who benefit from it in the professional workforce. If it was working, you wouldn't need it at every step of the cascade. And here's the thing, Tucker. Nobody makes a case for affirmative action in the NBA. Nobody makes a case for affirmative action in the NFL because they know that would ruin basketball and it would ruin football. None of us would want to watch it. Why do we think it's any different when it comes to science or engineering? And I will tell you from my experience in the classroom or otherwise, I think that that's exactly what's happening in our culture is we have an assault on meritocracy and an assault on excellence. And I think that's an assault on the American soul. We need to put the merit back in America. It's probably why most legal immigrants actually legally come to this country. It's why my parents came here. And we're at risk of losing it unless we end affirmative action, which I think the Supreme Court has an opportunity to do right now. But
this dude. Okay, so the caption, it says, some immigrants will align with white supremacy in order to get ahead. And here's an example. It says, now they're coming for affirmative action.
You know, I've actually heard some interesting you know, I guess arguments on affirmative action and how it may not be as good for different groups and this, that, and the other, which I don't know. Like, that's one thing that I guess I you know, so I'm not gonna say I know enough about it to say that it works or doesn't work or whatever. But I guess based on the conversation, yeah, I mean, people say, bro, I'm gonna tell you, some people will vote against themselves just to try to fit in.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. So, like, and this guy, that's what they love to bring out, people like this, because whenever it's like has racist undertones in it, they love to get someone else to say what they want to say. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah,
And say it passionately.
Because what's her name? What's the one that was wearing the T-shirt with Kanye?
Candace Owens.
Yeah, now they use her quite a bit for that. I think I even heard her with a conversation about that and how, you know, some of these, you know, because I think her example was for some black students going to Harvard because of affirmative action. They said, but if they would have went to USC, they would have ended up with better grades because of, you know, they wouldn't have had to shoot for the high levels of Harvard. You know what I'm saying? If they was better place, it was something, I don't know.
Yeah,
And
sounds like bullshit. Sounds like a bullshit argument.
I mean, it sounded like a decent argument, because if that's the real case, if what she said was a real thing, then like, okay, why not be more of an A student at USC and instead of being a C or a D student at Harvard? Like you could do better at a school that's more in your range, which I get it.
It doesn't really work. It doesn't really work like that.
No? Well, like I said, maybe I don't know enough about that, but like based on different things I've heard, if that's, like I said, I mean, that would make sense to me. You know.
Yeah. Well, whatever the prereqs are, the prerequisites is to get into the school. If you're able to do that, then that proves that you can deal with whatever you have to do at that school. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a good argument. It's like maybe if you're saying that the people are going to give them a hard time, like the instructors and the other students are going to, you know, badger them, and that's what's going to make their grades go down, because your grades depend on you, right? How there's no, you know, I mean, you could go to whatever school and get A's or C's or D's depending on your, you know, performance. That's what it's about. It's not like, I don't know what they're trying to say with that. Like Harvard, yes, it's supposed to be like an elite college or whatever, but that's whatever the prerequisites are. If you meet that, then you in there, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? And everybody on this level playing field, as far as they all got to learn the material. They all got to do the fucking assignments.
It's gonna be objective to really, I mean, to really decide. I mean, every student is not gonna be treated the same at each school, and all, you know what I'm saying. Even if there is some, you know, racism or whatever, like, I mean, some people can still deal with the racism, make good grades at the Harvard, even though somebody's. So I mean, I honestly, like, I really, to some extent, really feel like, I mean, it's bullshit. Whatever school you want to go to, I mean, just go there. Like, I mean, I wouldn't want somebody to be like, okay, look, you're special, and what we're gonna do is.
And I do get that. I totally get that particular part of the argument, because it seems like some damn charity or something. But
yeah,
you want to be with them. Like, I want to be with y'all. I want to go to the school with y'all. You know, yeah, I get that argument right there. But there was a reason why they came out with affirmative action. You know what I'm saying? Because they felt like there was a discrepancies going on. They were like, disparity.
Well, I mean, but we got to think about it too. That, I mean, there's
lack of opportunity for certain communities.
There's some people who feel like they were shut out of those type of opportunities because, you know, like they said, I had top grades, I had this, I had that, but I mean, if you know, when it's SAT time or different, you know, certain tests, I mean, the people who made it might have actually just did better than them, whether regardless if they was white, Asian, or, you know, whatever.
But no, these schools have history of being like all white, you know, and they also got freaking connections to slavery. So, you know, There's a reason why it's like, you know, there's a reason why it's all white, bro. Like it's not by accident.
Well, I mean, majority, because I mean, if you think about it, most people, a lot like these days, the reason why most people go to these schools, just like if you look at, like, I know, like in my family, like there's a quite a few that go to Southern or Grambling, and that's because grandma and grandpa and, you know, everybody else down the line
Right,
had been
because
there,
they
and they're
couldn't
going
go
the
to
school.
those schools because of segregation. They had the
They
HBCUs.
never wanted to go to those other schools. It wasn't that. It was because, like, look, I'm going to college, I'm going to school, I'm doing this and that and the other. Harvard
But
was the last thing on their mind. Like, they
But
didn't
if it
give a
was a
damn about.
tradition, I understand that if it was a tradition that the family has been doing for generations, that segregation, that wasn't that long ago, you know? So they couldn't go to those colleges. They were excluded from going to those colleges. It wouldn't have been an option. Even if they wanted to, they couldn't have. So if it's like they're passing down a tradition, they're definitely passing down a HBCU or whatever, because that's the schools that they could go to.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but if that's, you know, but my point was just that, like, a lot of the kids that's going to Harvard probably could give a damn less about Harvard them damn self. It's because mama and grandma want you to go to where they went, or, you know what I'm
And
saying,
that's
like.
true. And that's true. And that's true. And another reason why Harvard has so much money is because of their alumni gives so much money back to the school.
Yeah.
So, and that's a tradition that they do that's passed down. So, yeah, so it's to perpetuate it. So, you know, it's smart. You can't knock nobody for doing that at all, you know, and it really kind of makes sense. But, you know, it's just that the reason why affirmative action came out is because they saw that there was a disparity, you know, going on that was historical and left over from like segregation and shit. And they wanted to find ways to try to make that more fair, more level. And that's where affirmative action comes in. And the thing is, they've been screaming about affirmative action forever. And this is what I've been saying. What they don't understand is that the Republicans are getting everything that they want, and they have been for a minute now. Like it's steadily happening. Bing, 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 bing. Affirmative action is about to go out the window because the Supreme Court is about to see this case, and there's a very good chance that because it's a 6-3 majority, that the conservatives are going to kick affirmative action out, and it'll be no more. They winning with their agenda on this stuff. That's what they were talking about, the judges and the courts, because that's what they're doing. They're sending everything through the courts.
So that's a Republican thing, because I mean I know Democrats that's very into you know, this hard. I mean, because you saying for the whole affirmative action thing. So
right. The Republicans are the one that's been screaming
Republicans,
on.
So Republicans are against affirmative action.
Right. They say it's unfair to whites and Asians.
Do we know the real numbers to be upset about it? Like, I mean, it's just like you know, the whole idea about because I meant to try to pull it.
Monday.
Go ahead.
I thought about to try to pull the info up, but it's like the FBI put out another thing showing that, you know, like black people commit the least amount of crimes. But you know, of course, that's what we have to argue. You know, like we're the ones that always shows up on TV, and our faces and pictures in the newspaper, and
right.
this, that, and the other. We cause the least amount of crimes amongst all other races, but we're the ones that get plastered on TV. So,
And you would have a hard time selling that to a lot of people too, because they're like, I see it on the TV every night. You can't tell me.
I know. Like, that's one of the things that I had an argument with my. All right. Anyhow,
Here, let me
so
play
I mean,
this.
that's the thing. When it comes down to statistics, like a lot of people, like a lot of them know the real statistics. It's just that because we're caught up in our emotions, and because we think that something that would, I guess, supposedly is supposed to benefit us, does it mean that maybe that they're not lying? Like, does it mean that just because they're Republicans that they're full of shit and they
they just hate this. They hate anything like this that's trying to make shit atone for the past. Let me play some of this, and you can stop me when you want comments. Just let me know.
The Supreme Court heard arguments Monday in 2 cases that aim to end race-conscious admissions decisions by colleges and universities. During nearly 5 hours of arguments, the court's far-right supermajority indicated it's open to ruling that the consideration of race in the admissions process violates the Equal Protection Clause of the Constitution and the Civil Rights Act. The 2 cases involve Harvard and the University of North Carolina. In both cases, plaintiffs argued the school's admissions process discriminates against white and Asian American applicants by giving extra preference to Black, Latino, and Native American applicants. In the Harvard case, the plaintiffs argued Asian American applicants face specific discrimination. This is Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, the only conservative justice of color, questioning the lawyer representing University of North Carolina, Ryan Park.
I didn't go to racially diverse schools, but there were educational benefits. And I'd like you to tell me expressly, when a parent sends a kid to college, that they don't necessarily send them there to have fun or feel good or anything like that. They send them there to learn physics or chemistry or whatever they're studying. So tell me what the educational benefits are.
Meanwhile, the Supreme Court's first Black woman.
Wait. I think they're from having a diverse classroom. There's lots of educational opportunities there. If you're coming at this with the arrogance of I don't need to know anything about any other cultures anywhere else in the world, then I guess you won't see no benefit. But And then you got the perspectives of these people who are from different places. Because if you have all the same people with the same background as you that's in the classroom, then all the same questions are going to be asked and all of that. You know what I mean? Y'all going to be in a box. You have these diverse rooms. There's going to be someone that's going to make a comment that all of these other people wasn't thinking of, because they just don't think the same way, as far as like their backgrounds are different. You get what I'm saying? They don't even see it the same way. So there's absolutely lots of opportunities, educational and more, making your life more rich when there's when the classroom has diverse cultures. So that's my answer to Mr. Clarence Thomas right there.
Justice and newest member, Ketanji Brown Jackson, recused herself from arguments in the Harvard case because of her ties to the university, but she was a prominent voice in the first half of the arguments involving the University of North Carolina. She repeatedly asked about the harm in considering race as a factor in admissions to ensure a diverse student body. Here she questions attorney Patrick Strawbridge, who argued on behalf of so-called Students for Fair Admissions, a group founded by white conservative lawyer Ed Blum, who has brought multiple cases before the Supreme Court that challenge race-conscious policymaking as unconstitutional.
I'm hoping to get your reaction to this hypothetical. The first applicant says, I'm from North Carolina. My family has been in this area for generations, since before the Civil War, and I would like you to know that I will be the 5th generation to graduate from the University of North Carolina. I now have that opportunity to do that, and given my family background, it's important to me that I get to attend this university. I want to honor my family's legacy by going to this school. The second applicant says, I'm from North Carolina. My family's been in this area for generations, since before the Civil War, but they were slaves and never had a chance to attend this venerable institution. As an African American, I now have that opportunity, and given my family background, it's important to me to attend this university. I want to honor my family legacy by going to this school. Now, as I understand your no race conscious admissions rule, these two applicants would have a dramatically different opportunity to tell their family stories and to have them count. The first applicant would be able to have his family background considered and valued by the institution as part of its consideration of whether or not to admit him, while the second one wouldn't be able to, because his story is in many ways bound up with his race and with the race of his ancestors. So I want to know, based on how your rule would likely play out in scenarios like that, why excluding consideration of race in a situation in which the person is not saying that his race is something that has impacted him in a negative way. He just wants to have it honored, just like the other person has their personal background, family story honored. Why is telling him no not an equal protection violation?
Justice Kato.
What do you think? You there, Pat?
Yeah.
What you think about Ketanji Brown? What she said?
You know, I overall, I kind of feel like, okay, like, because I guess it's somewhat beneficial for us, I guess you could say, but at the same time, like if you, because all right, if it's really fair, it shouldn't matter. Like, I mean, we fight for fairness, you know, we want it to be fair, and if we did not put, like, let's just say when they're taking a test, it doesn't have you describe who you are, you know, none of these things, and you know, if the reason why you getting looked at on your, you know, your application, your grades and everything, the only reason why they looked at it is because you're in the pile with the black, like, that's not fair. And regardless of what race a person is. So, you know.
Yeah, but the system is not fair. The whole reason why they wanted to come up with this is because they felt like it was a need to come up with this because all those schools was all white, like completely white. So it's like, there's no opportunity for nobody else to go to your school. Like nobody else is smart enough. Like everybody, these are the smartest people. They all white people.
Well,
And
a lot
nobody
of that's
else.
just think about this, because a lot of the tests is not, you know, you know, because some tests, you know, black people just don't pass it because it's not designed within their the you know, the way that we think or the way we talk or whatever. Like it's a certain, you know, they know that they can design tests in a certain way. So I mean, I hear what you're saying, but like, you know what, that's fine. I honestly think that, you know, no matter what it is, it could be, you know, for, you know, we could use any place on the planet. If you want to get in and, you know, you don't have the scores for it, like, do you really deserve to be there? And if it's all white, then let them all go there. Like, I don't.
It ain't the scores. That's not it. It's definitely not that.
Because for number one, we give too much credit to their system in the first place. That's really my point of view. Like, I think we give them too much credit, like giving our life to some school that, you know, oh, well, this is Harvard, and oh, this is Princeton. Like, I mean, look, like, yeah, it's. I don't know why we over validate these places in the first place.
Well, I can definitely agree with you on that. But the argument that people will make is because certain facilities will be there that may not be other places.
But that's what a real problem is. It's not really like people getting accepted. Like, why aren't the other schools that's I would rather go to anyway have the same shit that these schools have?
Because shit ain't been treated fairly over time. So these damn
That's the real problem. And then like you talking about diversity, like if we had the proper things in these schools, like the HBCUs would be more like people would be more like
because
it's nothing but black people going there. Like, why don't I get a chance to go there?
Because the other part, like I say, facilities, and the other part is the instructors. Because when they have money to be able to pay, they could get the best instructors, like the freaking expert on whatever the hell it is, and that's valuable as hell.
That's bullshit. Just because you're willing to pay somebody else to come from another country to teach something that
most likely they are from another country too.
Yeah, I mean bro, like we're too freaking programmed, and I'm saying I know it ain't me, but a lot of people are way too programmed to think that. I mean, the budgets that they're using is still state funds. Like the affirmative action isn't the problem. It's really like, I mean, shit. Coach Prime is showing people right now, like there's really where the real problem is.
Yeah. Let me play a little bit.
Ketanji Brown Jackson in oral arguments Monday. The Supreme Court's rulings in the two cases are due next year, likely in June. For more, we're joined by two guests from Washington, D.C. John Yang is President and Executive Director of Asian Americans Advancing Justice, was one of the speakers at a rally for affirmative action outside the court Monday. We're also joined by Fatima Goss-Graves, President and CEO of the National Women's Law Center. We welcome you both to Democracy Now! Fatima Goss-Graves, let's begin with you. You were tweeting nonstop yesterday. Talk about the significance of the arguments and where you think the supermajority is going right now.
Well, I have to begin with the fact that this is the fourth time the Supreme Court has heard what is essentially the same question. And before this year, each time they had come down with real clarity that you could consider race in the context of a holistic admissions process. What is different this time is the dramatic shift in the composition of the court. And that's why we went into the argument worried and skeptical that the three new justices would join their conservative colleagues, despite the fact that there's clear precedent to rely on, and despite the fact that there is a broad case to be made, as you heard Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson make, of not only the ongoing discrimination, but the historical discrimination that these programs in part help to address.
Well, Fatima, could you talk about specifically the...
Go ahead.
See, this is where I really had a problem, because the discrimination, they're trying to put it on individual schools when it's at a level much higher. Like, I mean, the Fed, all right, just like, all right, when Obama was and Joe Biden was in office, they cut funding to HBCUs, and of course, like he tried to pretty much did it again. Like, if they were like, because I mean, like, we got tricked a long time ago, because at one time it was a bunch of black football sports teams that was at HBCUs, and they was the bomb, like stadiums getting full and this, that, and the other. And then they start giving the other schools more money to be able to attract other, players to be able to go to the quote unquote big state school, so that they start getting more black athletes, because that's where a lot of the money really is coming from, is the sports. So that's like outside of from the money that's being funded through the state. So if you able prime time TV and all this and that, the contracts and all, everything that's available because you got the best sports team, this, that, and the other. Like it could have been that same thing, but except opposite where it been the HBCUs that everybody wanted to be at. So they're giving extra money to these schools, so it's not really, because Harvard and all that, that's the academic, meccas, I guess you could say, Harvard and Princeton, and which is really King's College. But however, that it's really like they're tricking everyone to believe that this is a problem on the that's happening at the school, or affirmative action needed to happen so that we can divert, give diversity to these quote unquote white schools. But no, they should have just been funding everybody properly. Like,
but they didn't. So there's a historical disparity.
But that's what I'm saying. But see, historically, yeah, that's 100% correct right there. But they're hiding, like, what I'm saying, like you're saying, like acting like children. It's like, oh, where's the ball? Where's the ball? Oh, it's not in their hand. Oh, what happened? Oh, it's magic. It's just missing. They're trying to act like, the problem is really over here in with the affirmative action. But no, the real problem is that you're not funding every school. So whatever school you go to, it doesn't matter if it, what I'm saying, if it's blacks and whites, if it's just black, if it's just white, but if it's fairly, you able to get whatever teachers you want for this school, because if this one is a specialty here, or whatever the case is, if they were funding each school properly, we don't have to talk about who's getting what and why, because one school getting $1 million and another school getting $10 million. Why?
Yeah, but that's absolutely not the conversation, because that's not what they're talking about at all. But I think
but that's what the conversation should be.
So, but affirmative action was supposed to like just do a little bit. It wasn't even like it probably, if you looked at the stats, the impact is probably not that super great. You know what I mean? So it's like a drop in the bucket anyways. But the thing is, they just hate anything. Whenever it's like something that's just for black people or whatever, then it's a problem. It's like, oh, well, then why you got to be about race? Why you got to bring race in the story? Okay. Well, look, these people been historically disparaged. Can you give them a leg up? Nah. Why it's got to be about race? You got to give everybody the same thing. Everybody wasn't treated the same historically. Everybody don't have the same history.
True. And that's the thing. I mean, to some extent, maybe there shouldn't be different schools or whatever, but I mean, based on the fact that, one school is provided with, a better science department because they can hire whoever's supposed to be the biggest and baddest in that field. Like almost any school, if that's what the students there are really wanting and needing, they should be provided the same opportunity that the school on the other side of town has. Like that's where, like, to me, like fighting over me being able to go to the most prestigious school because they have this and they have that. Well, why the hell, like, my school can't have that shit too? Like that's why I'm saying that, the affirmative action is like, okay, I want to be included in your, white dominance, instead of saying, hey, look, just give me this, like, give me the funding to where I can get the same thing that this school has.
But that's not happening. And I do sympathize with that argument, because I really do feel you on that argument. But that's not what's happening. And
I know, I get it. I mean,
Because look, it goes back to what they were saying, separate but equal. That's basically the argument you're making right now. And that was segregation. They said separate but equal, but it wasn't equal. But
that's why I'm trying to tell you, they're hiding, like that's the ball that they're hiding behind their back, is that, okay, look, we could have been separate and equal, or we could even still, like, because I mean, shoot, I know there's a bunch of white people that go to Southern University. There's some white kids that decide they want to go here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and you know, when there's certain you know, programs and schools that, because like Southern University has like the best law school in the country. They have the best nursing, and it's like certain few little things. I think even engineering. So like they have some of the better programs, and the white boys don't give a damn about what's on the school name. This is what they want to go to. Who got the best?
If you look at it historically, though, even back then when it was segregated, you could have white folks come to the black schools. It wouldn't be they wouldn't be the cops kicking them out and shit like that.
No problem. Yeah, they welcomed them fine. But see, that's why I'm saying, like, it's better to even to have it that way, because you know we're more inclusive than they are.
Yeah, but if the black person tried to go to the white school, then here come the cops.
Yes, so that's why I think that's why we should have better funding, because guess what? We're more like I said, we're more inclusive. We, you know, like we're just more fair. Like we're not mad at somebody because you know, hey man, you ain't got enough melanin in your what you doing here, man. Nah, you get the hell from around here. It's like, nah, come on, man. What building you looking for? Oh yeah, no, you go down. You know, we're more responsible with, you know, people than others have been, and just because like they have a hate in their heart. So it's like, you know, instead of us trying to talk about the whole, you know, this affirmative action thing, whether it's at schools, because it seems like they talk about it more in schools than jobs. But you know, because I mean, shit, they easily can get more jobs because most of their people own the bigger companies, and they can decide how many they want, and or who, you know, who's gonna work here, blah blah blah. I mean, honestly, like things would be much better. And I know, like, this is away from the subject,
Yeah, but what who in our community owns a Walmart or Amazon, bro?
What, you know what? That could have been different too. All of it falls into the same kind of category. It's white hate. Like it's, you know, it's anti-black racism, and or white supremacy at its best.
Dang,
I mean, it's all neglecting, like their fear of us. You know, if we are alone doing our own thing for too long, and they're not doing something to stop it, we're gonna like exceed whatever they're doing in their little circles. They've seen it too many times, and
Can't have that. Let me read the caption. It says, the majority conservative Supreme Court appears poised to strike down race-conscious college admissions decisions. After hearing arguments Monday against Harvard and the University of North Carolina, the plaintiffs argued the admissions process discriminates against white and Asian American applicants by giving priority consideration to Black, Hispanic, and Native American applicants. The decision could jeopardize affirmative action initiatives implemented after the civil rights movement to give more equal opportunities to people disadvantaged by centuries of racial discrimination and the legacy of slavery. John C. Yang, president and executive director of Asian Americans Advancing Justice, says his organization investigated the allegations against Harvard and found no discrimination, but rather that allowing race to be considered benefited Asian Americans. Fatima Graves, president and CEO of the National Women's Law Center, says rescinding affirmative action programs risk harming students of color and will dramatically decrease the racial diversity that has shown to benefit colleges.
Yeah, No, I mean, I honestly feel like, yeah, I mean, this is a way to be able to shut, you know, some black people out of certain schools, especially when we're talking about the ones that's more of an academia type school, but the ones that's gonna be in sports, we're not they're gonna I think we could do the same thing when it comes to sports if we stop trying to go to their school, and then like we're the ones that everybody wants to see on TV. Like it's the dynamics, the same thing that they're doing. Like there'll be some schools that's gonna probably be completely white, maybe white and Asian or whatever, but it'll also be somewhere we'll be the top of the schools in another section because we lean heavier or have better talent over here. I don't think I don't care. Me personally, I don't care about being in what I'm saying, like I don't have a problem with being around them, but I'm not gonna force my way to be around like that. And neither will I for my son. Like he's gonna be the next one going into college. Like, bro, like this. All right, you want to go for this? All right, it's like he's already talking about LSU. All right, cool. That's what they got. The thing, is this the best school for that? Blah blah blah. We're gonna have those conversations. I don't think that just because the name and this and that and the third really should people should be getting all upset about, because it's like if you have the same ability to get the same teaching, the same kind of recognition because you went to the best school, like I said, Southern, like what's the dude name that the one that did the OJ case? He died, the black guy.
Yeah, Johnny Cochran.
Johnny Cochran went to Southern University.
Yeah, but see, the thing is that that's not the case. It's not even. It's not fair. They don't have the same facilities. They don't have the same instructors. It's not. That's the issue. Let me read some comments. It says, if you don't think the most qualified student should have to fight for admittance only after getting their arms and legs cobbled, you're crazy. Another comment, it says, there's nothing worse than being rejected from a job or school or whatever and having to wonder if it was because of your race. No matter what color, race you may be, such racism should have a place in society, should not have a place in society.
No, it shouldn't. But I mean, we're still talking about, America.
Yeah. It's born on it. It's born out of that.
Yeah,
the whole
thing,
thing,
even the ones that's quote unquote not racist still falls right into the same. Like, I mean, they don't fight. They're not gonna fight against it. So I'm like, why do we fight to be a part of this?
It's manifest destiny, from sea to shining sea, and like I was talking to some guy and he was, that's what he said. He was like, it's exclusionary by nature, the white supremacy, because it defines itself by being not the other,
But usually it usually bites them in the ass when they do, like if they're doing something that's racist like that, it usually bites them in the ass, because guess what? We have a chance to get together and be creative together, and we come up with some of the coolest shit that they weren't part of, and then now there's like trying to figure out some kind of way to steal you from the school you at, or what,
and that's what I think about all the time. What little Einstein black kid is in the projects, you know what I'm saying, fighting rats and roaches with zero opportunities?
I ain't gonna say zero opportunities. It's just, there's always opportunity.
So that's what I wonder about all the time, because our system, and these are Americans, they're gonna put into the system, they're gonna create and grow and help here, you know. So America's so racist that they don't want that. They willing to let that just wither on the vine.
They don't want. Wait a minute. Say that again. They don't want what?
They don't want the little black kid to be successful.
Well, but it's not up to them to decide. I mean, like, there's bro, we got so many people in positions that, like, all right, bro, I think that it's fear. Like, it's too many of us that fear or worrying about what these other people might do, and well, you remember what they did 60 years ago. You see what they did 100 years ago. Like, man, look, they just gonna have to do it yesterday or today. Like, man, it's like, I think people just way too scared of what, shit that didn't happen in the past. Is like, oh, so now I'm not supposed to grow and succeed. Kiss my ass. You're gonna have to burn my shit down.
Yeah.
Or we gonna have a big ass fucking fight while you trying to.
Yeah, but what we're arguing is like the institutional disadvantages, the stuff that you can't fight. It's just in there. It's like baked in.
But that's my part. I think you're missing what I'm saying. Like, fuck trying to fight for their shit. Let's have our own. Like, if they don't, you know what I'm saying? If I don't pass the test to get into their school, okay, great. Because guess what? I got one here that I passed it with flying colors. I'm in. All I gotta do is go. Like, I don't need them to tell me I'm good enough.
Let me read some more comments. It says, if that is the case, then we should do what is right and just consider the whole person, not based upon any preference, i.e. family status, alumni status, etc. Well, in a perfect world, yeah. Let me read another comment. It says, equality for everybody, good stuff. No matter if AA is struck down, the individuals in charge of admissions can and still will choose new students based on variables they and others decide behind closed doors. Damian Hewitt said it best: intelligence is not necessarily the best quality to seek when trying to identify the best and brightest among us, but skin color matters. What? Another comment, it says, the question is whether GPA should be the sole criteria like the Olympics trials were. Without exception, only those with the best time or highest scores are deemed qualified and allowed to advance.
I mean, bro, I'm gonna tell you, some of the people in our past that were geniuses weren't like the biggest articulate and people that would have fit into school. Like, in most cases, like, we're not almost somewhat the outcast. Like, school is like a prison to us, because we don't, we grow better when we can be free and do, what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times school kills your creativity. So, I mean, is that always? I don't think that's always the best route anyway. For those that's, some people that's like, okay, y'all, they need that, but everybody shouldn't be trying to, go, because maybe there needs to be some place that, is not as structured. Maybe some, like these art schools, or like the performing arts and this, that, and the other, like they have that on the collegiate level to where it allows people to express themselves, and we can actually, like, when was the last time we like really had any true inventions? Like, we was inventing stuff as slaves.
Yeah, well, the reason why new inventions don't come out is because we got fucking monopolies in the tech industry and in the shit everywhere, automotive industry.
well, it's not like it doesn't happen. It's just that okay, because I mean, you know, if you think about it, the same way that um like with Apple don't give a damn about nobody coming there with college degrees. I mean, I guess for some jobs, you know, yeah, whatever, but that's not like a prerequisite. Even at Tesla, like these people understand that to really get the true creativity, you just need a pure mind, something that hadn't been crushed. You know, like what happens to a lot of people in school, especially here in America in schools. A lot of the dreams are getting crushed right in the damn school. Even like probably even in elementary school, a lot of them are getting crushed. Oh, no, you shouldn't do that. Yeah, okay, you know, you know, you can try. You know, I mean, like some things I just don't really feel like school is like the, you know, end all, and we should be crying about whether we made it into this one or that one, because it's really going to depend on the individual to really do independent research and like having a want and a need and a love to do what it is that they are trying to do. It doesn't matter about the school because you are the one that's learning. You're the one that's pushing things to the top. Like it's students that make a school, not the school that makes the student.
That's 100% true. It's just that you have tools, better tools available to help you on your journey. Let me read some more comments. It says, equality of opportunity is at the core of the American dream, not equality of outcome. I think everyone agrees that it is bad to judge a person based on their race, culture, or creed. People need to be assessed based on merit and not the color of their skin. Hard work matters, not race. Race is a social construct. It is not so long ago that Asians were barred from higher education, a clear barrier to social advancement. It was not so long ago the religious quotas barred Jews from medical schools, law schools, and elite universities. Furthermore, how is race defined? If I am 1/20th Native American, does that entitle one to preferential treatment? If I am a white South African, do I then get to identify as African American? So that fair or equal? Is that fair or equal? What if someone is transracial and their race ascribed at birth doesn't match the race to which they identify? Universities should have diversity, but it is diversity solely reduced to the color of one's skin? Are all African Americans the same? Are all Latinos the same? That sounds pretty racist by any standard. Is a university truly diverse when it is ideologically and politically monochromatic? Clearly not. Diversity of thought and ideas matter, not racial quotas.
I mean, I think it makes a lot of good points. I mean, because I mean, the world is so different, and like honestly, I mean, we're human beings. Like, you know, it's like, you know, when it benefits certain people, that's when, because I mean, like honestly, like that's if things, if we're talking about being fair in one area, I don't think it's gonna ever be fair without it being fair all around the board. You know what I'm saying? Like if, you know what I'm saying, we using identity politics, you know, black, white, Asian, this, that, and the third. So I mean, if we're talking about being fair, like it shouldn't matter, you know, of course, like your grades and all these things that's gonna put you,
It
make you
shouldn't.
available.
It shouldn't
Yeah.
matter, but it do. And I feel like that dude was making a bullshit argument. You know,
No,
freaking.
Yeah, no, I know,
He's being
I know what
facetious, like, and
facetious. I know,
and
I
he's
know.
being extra. And then it's like, so like diversity of ideas. So it's all white people in the room, but they got a diversity of ideas. Get the F out of here. Get all the way the F out of here with that. Like, no, like diversity of ideas is gonna come from people with diverse backgrounds. If all these people got like a soccer mom, they all grew up on a freaking suburb. You know what I'm saying? They got both parents at home, you know, they all go to soccer practice. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Diversity of ideas. Get the F out of here.
Well, I don't think white people are monolithic either. So I mean, um, you can have versatile thoughts, just because we're humans. Like that's the whole thing. Like it subconsciously we make it seem like people are just so different because like we're really way more alike than we are different. And then yes, some of us do have different different backgrounds because of poverty, or one grew up in the hood and one grew, because I mean, like, I don't know, I guess maybe see it different because I grew up in a mixed neighborhood, whereas whites, blacks, few Asians, they're a small percentage here anyway, but like I've been like grew up with everybody, so I don't see it, I don't really see it this exactly the same way some people, because like that's just not the way I was raised. But at the same time, I get the whole idea, but is that some kind, like, oh, you want to stick yourself into that category all of your life, or like, you feel like, because I think there's other things that we should fight for so that like the world is fairer, instead of us having to worry about how we're placed in a school or some other place. Like the entire, like, how I'm placed in the world should matter more than how I'm placed in the school. So
Yeah,
like,
but this is just a specific manifestation of the application of white supremacy in this country.
but it's still a trick. That's what I'm saying. Like we're focusing and we're talking back and forth about this thing that guys that they're using that's supposed to be fair, but how fair is it? Like,
It's not fair at all on nobody's side.
Exactly.
It's not
And
fair.
that's my clear
That's the
point.
problem.
Yeah, that's the whole problem. Like we're playing right into another, like, what I'm saying, they're able to continue the trick because we can talk about this instead of the real problem.
Let me read some more comments. It says, now make it a thing in the workplace. Another comment, it says, in the 70s, I was hired to a state job only because the office had to meet a certain quota. The people that came to this office were 99.9% Spanish speaking, and there was only 5 Spanish speaking employees, all working clerical. All the interviewers spoke English only. During the interviews, they had to use an interpreter. Now, did that make sense? It sure didn't to me. I strongly believe I was hired through affirmative action. Let me read another one. It says, as if alumni's children and rich kids don't get I don't know why I can't say this word today. Can't get preferential treatment for admissions. Let me read it again because I botched it. It says, as if alumni's children and rich kids don't get preferential treatment for admissions. So yeah, I mean,
But they do, and yeah, they definitely do. So I mean, I get that.
So that's
segment
affirmative action for them, right
It
there.
is. It already is. Yeah, because I mean, their money is buying them their position. You know what I'm saying? Like they've affirmed their position with the money. You know what I'm saying? So, like, but I guess that's supposed to be for those who couldn't afford to pay off the school to let their kid in. Is that where what we're fighting for, the white kids and the Asian kids that couldn't afford to pay their kids way in? So now the black people, you know what I'm saying? So you want to fight with the black people who are trying to get into the school, instead of the ones who are really not, probably really not worthy, like probably didn't even have to take the test, the entry, the whatever, because a lot of times they had to do some kind of writing or something, writing project, or I don't know, something, I forget exactly what it is, but whatever the criteria is, they probably didn't even have to go through that step because mom and dad, they wrote a check. They didn't write the the essay or whatever that it took to prove whether you were, I don't know. But however, they're not fighting against those people who's alumni and paying their, extra for their kid to be there. It's the other people who are impoverished or who couldn't afford, now they're fighting up against each other for, regardless of the race. It's like we get mad at each other and trying to fight for a position between, this person in poverty and another one in poverty, or let's just say not necessarily poverty, but just not not rich people, whether you're white, Asian, Hispanic, or black. Non-rich people, because really that's what I say is more classism than it is racism. But we got to fight up against each other for a position where there's other ones that's just because of their money that now they in the house. The discussion ain't even on them. So I don't know. It's just, to me,
let me read this comment.
It's all around screwed.
This comment, it says, we did not fight the Civil War about oboe players. We did fight the Civil War to end racial discrimination. Chief Justice Roberts. So it was a quote. Another comment, it says, God bless the new composition of the Supreme Court and the reintroduction of logic. This is a very divisive topic. I ain't gonna lie. Let me read another comment. It says, Chief Justice Roberts, how long will affirmative action be necessary? Question struck me as a deeply ironic inversion of Richard Pryor's classic stand-up rant on racial injustice. How long will the bullshit go on? How long? I'm old enough to recall the integration of Ole Miss back in the early 60s when James Meredith was escorted to the registrar's office by federal marshal in order register. He was the only African American on the campus who was not in some menial service role. Meeting the prospective student and his federal protectors was the SEG governor, Ross Barnett, who imperiously asked, which one of you is Meredith? Is this really what the colorblind conservatives on the SCOTUS mean by a post-racial colorblind society? It's a good question. Freaking, what's his name? Herschel Walker is turning into a meme, bro. He's a meme now.
On what?
Just period. He's turning into a meme. He's making Saturday Night Live more funny. They ain't been funny in forever. I've been catching clips. Pretty funny. Oh wait, here it is right here. Let me show this. Let me share this with y'all. I don't know, man. And he still might win too. I really want to cover it. I'm going to cover all the elections. I'm going to talk about Lula. I might save that for tomorrow, but I'm definitely going to cover the midterms because Herschel Walker might win.
I am Herschel Walker, and I am running for campaign. I was just a little baby boy born here in Georgia. And when I was a little baby, I was a little boy. I believe that God made women's a women and a man's is a man. A man can't have a baby out his butthole. I played football in the NFL. I am also a sheriff, cop, police officer, and I got my training on Call of Duty. If you want your kids to learn the ABCs and not the LGBTCs, then vote for Herschel Walker.
Herschel Walker isn't really sure if he approves the message or not, but he signed the waiver anyway.
That's funny.
Oh my God.
But I'm gonna tell you something. Warnock, look, Herschel Walker beat Warnock in that debate, like hands down, with him not being able to be a man and have a baby in the bosom, like all this shit that they making a joke about. Look, if he look, it wasn't supposed to be close. I mean, it wasn't supposed to be close. Warnock should have wiped him with the floor because of his, you know what I'm saying? This ain't no new rodeo for him.
Man, I'm telling you though, he's a meme. He's gonna go down as a meme. He's been memed now. You'll never be able to shake this. It's gonna be. He's gonna be remembered as a meme.
Nah, I think he's gonna go to the Senate and make some noise. He probably gonna stumble over his words, but I think he actually gonna do some stuff will be surprised. I mean, you know, honestly, like if you ain't really about making change, like you don't need to be in there. So Warnock, he's just trying to follow, because like what he said, like he voted with Biden 90% of the time. Okay, was that with the oil? You know what I'm saying? You know, like us, like I mean, you got to really think about it. All the decisions that was made, that you agree with these people, like and the position that we're in right now as a country. Like we really got to check these people for thinking that it was okay, and for not saying something at some point. It's like, all right, you know what, we fucked up. No, they gonna all ride together. So okay, y'all, maybe they really still agree that it should be the way that it is. Like you hadn't said, okay, we made some mistakes. We're trying to get them cleared up. Blah blah blah. The fuel thing, the energy crisis that we're in. You know. Like right now, they're talking about us maybe not having diesel fuel within the next few days.
Yep,
So
I heard that.
Truck drivers, bro.
The price is gonna be up.
Huh?
The price is gonna go up.
No, price on what?
On the diesel.
No,
on everything.
But no, if there's no more diesel, there's no more trucks going anywhere. There's like if you don't have it already, you're not getting it.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about Pelosi's husband again a little bit, because I really don't like how they talking about this topic, man, and making fun of it and joking about it, like, and downplaying it. You know, I think that's really horrible. You know. I don't. We talked about him before. We talked about Nancy Pelosi and her husband before on this show. Like, I'm not a fan of this guy, you know, but I don't want to see him get beat up with a hammer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and people need to be making sure that they.
Did he really get beat up with a hammer? Because, like, did you see where they had a tape, the 911 tape? You know, where he's talking about, yeah, there's this guy. He named him, called him by name because he knew the guy, and he said he's just gonna sit here and wait on his wife. So whatever happened, they knew who this person was. It's not what they were trying to make it out to be, like some crazy, you know, Republican trying to, you know, that's mad about elections or some craziness, whatever narrative they were trying to spin it on that or whatever. So like some people are showing, like, talking about how ridiculous it is, because like there's proof that's coming out showing that it's other than what they try to make it sound like. And I have the video. I think I even sent it to you and Deuce.
Yeah. Well, he definitely got beat up, and you know, the guy definitely did it, you know, for political reasons.
Have you seen pictures of him beat up, like bloody and all this other kind of stuff? Or is, because nobody said nothing about no hammer on, you know, we heard about there was, both of them had a hammer somehow, but like, we seen any proof of what he looks like after the beating?
I haven't seen no pictures. They probably not releasing that, but they released his medical report. He had freaking fractures in his skull and injuries on his arm and shoulder, I want to say.
Okay, see, I hadn't even seen or heard none of that. I'm going by like I said, the stuff that I have seen, and like I said, I mean, he was talking calmly about who, you know, they knew who the guy, they called the guy by name. That, you know, her husband, when he made the police call, he like was talking calmly and politely, and like not like they was in no kind of tussle or nothing. It was just like they was just there chilling.
This is what the internet does, and this is what they're doing, and it's so crazy that we live in a society, or the world has gotten to this point where it's like we can't even. So like they had to do surgery on this dude's head, like they put the medical reports out there, so like it happened.
Okay, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying like it's because I mean we hadn't seen any proof, and you telling me something I hadn't seen or heard. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
so it happened, and not only that, the way that they're talking about the incident is really gross, you know, and I think that really needs to be addressed or talked about. Is like, you know, like this is a real person, like regardless of how I feel about the guy, I don't, you know, it's a real human, you know what I mean? This is not no like cartoon or something, like some theoretical idea of something. They're like Nancy Pelosi and his husband, or they're like they should just die or whatever, like or whatever the hell people thinking. I really don't know what they're thinking, but it should be that we address this as far as like say hold on, at the very least, regardless you like this guy or don't like this guy,
Yeah, I mean I don't
can't
want to see
condone that kind of behavior.
Yeah, I don't want to see nobody get hurt. I mean, I don't care what your political background. Like, you know, look. The only reason why I'm mad at Pelosi is because I feel like she could help do more for the people than just for what we see for herself. Like, you know, like shoot, she's a part of the whole thing with the merger with Kroger and Albertsons. Like she's everywhere in the financial positions, but
Her hands is all over this the tech in Taiwan, those computer chips, and her husband and this is all true. But I don't want somebody to show up at his house and hit him with a hammer. Let's deal with this in a different way.
Me either. But but see, my I guess like I said, I didn't hear about any like what they said that like the real damages and stuff was. I'm seeing the other side, so I don't know if like these people that's talking the way they are, because I mean, you know, let's be honest. You are a dim sympathizer. So
I am, but if they showed up at Donald Trump's house and hit him with a hammer, or hit his wife with a hammer, or whoever, whatever name you want to name, I'm still gonna stand on the same thing. I'm gonna say the same thing.
Well, I mean, you know,
and I don't like Nancy Pelosi. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I mean, even when they're violating somebody's home, they're not even there. Like they bum rush the man's house. Like that should be something, you know, like that shit wasn't legal. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's just that as a community, we have to be like we need to all agree, no matter where we are on this political spectrum, that's fucked up and foul and shouldn't be, and it's not fucking funny.
Exactly.
You know?
That's my point.
But that's not what is happening, and it's because it's on the Democratic side. The Republicans feel like they can make jokes.
That's the same point I just tried to make to you, because it wasn't right for them to just go into Mar-a-Lago, and when they done talk to the dude and he done promised to give it, and they know he's not there, and they just go bum rush his house anyway. Like that wasn't right, but people don't give a damn about that part.
Yeah, but that's not the same as somebody getting hit with a hammer, bro. If the cops came over there and hit his wife with a hammer, then that would be similar.
No. See, that's the thing.
You can't compare them.
Yes, you can. you don't want to, but yes, you can compare them because rights are being violated is rights being violated. I mean, you know, yeah, the dude might be in a hospital. That's bad. That's messed up. But like when somebody's you know
That's
breaking
beyond
laws.
violating rights when somebody's trying to take your life. That's another level. You're not trying to violate my rights. You're trying to take my life. You're trying to kill me.
Okay, but
It's not the same.
they're both worthy of talking about that there was wrong to do, and because it was the FBI, people like just, oh well, like those are human beings too that's violating people's rights. Like, I mean, you would see it differently if it was your house. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's a shame that it's got to be some, you know, somebody potentially about to lose their life or being hit over the head with any blunt object for somebody to be like, oh well, that's, you know what I'm saying, yeah, that's going far. But I mean, there's other things that's happening all the time that people look past, like when people's First Amendment rights are getting trampled over. Like nobody, like people don't like, oh well, I mean, yeah, cut them off, they shouldn't, like, what's fair is fair. That's all. That's my point. You know, no, this, like, I hate, like, whatever happened to this dude, Pelosi. Like, it's fucked up. I don't agree with it. But there's a lot of things that's been going on that, because it wasn't that, nobody has nothing to say about it. It's just like, oh well, it's my team. They doing what they want to do, and I don't really care what happens to the other guy.
Let me play this clip. Check it.
It is not impossible to protect our kids at school.
I'm going to read the captions as it goes. It says, Republicans are deliberately downplaying and making fun of Paul Pelosi's assault.
They act like it is. Nancy Pelosi, well, she's got protection when she's in D.C. Apparently her house doesn't have a lot of protection.
Listen, Speaker Pelosi's husband, they had a break-in last night in their house, and he was assaulted. There's no room for violence anywhere, but we're going to send her back to be with him in California. That's what we're going to go do. That's what we're going to go do.
To his 8.7 million Twitter followers, Donald Trump Jr. shared an image of a hammer and a pair of underwear that had the caption, "Got my Paul Pelosi Halloween costume ready." He also posted something else, which he quickly deleted, a South Park-esque cartoon image, supposedly of Pelosi, and the guy who hit him in the head with a hammer having sex.
I think the effort to turn this into a political issue actually is a real problem here, because Paul Pelosi was attacked. Paul Pelosi was attacked by a person who's an illegal alien in our country, should have never been here in the first place.
And yet somehow there was no security at the Speaker of the House's home on Friday night? It doesn't make sense at all. What does that mean? Like, how could you explain that? Maybe there's a good explanation. I'm not alleging anything. Why should the rest of us sit here and accept obvious inconsistencies in a story that has public policy implications and not say anything? Maybe we're in the habit of just accepting the most ludicrous possible claims and moving on to the next thing. It feels like where we are.
Why is the conservative movement to blame for gay schizophrenic nudists that are hemp jewelry makers breaking into somebody's home, or maybe not breaking into somebody's home? Why are we to blame for that exactly? If some amazing patriot out there in San Francisco or the Bay Area wants to really be a midterm hero, someone should go and bail this guy out. I bet his bail's like $30,000 or $40,000. Bail him out and then go ask him some questions.
The talk has to stop. That's the problem. That's the problem. You can't just say, I feel badly about the violence. We condemn it. Condemn what produces the violence. And this talk produces the violence.
This increasing habit of demonizing political opponents creates a dangerous climate. And elected officials who do not explicitly reject or participate in over-the-top rhetoric, if that's what they're doing instead of, if they just ignore or make light of that kind of violence, or if they encourage their supporters to stand outside voting places armed with guns and dressed in tactical gear, if that's the environment that we create, more people are going to get hurt.
And it does look like Nancy has an alibi, but that doesn't mean, I know, I kid, I just kid. Womp, womp, womp. Bang, bang, Maxwell's silver hammer. Oh, hey, wait a minute. Maxwell's silver hammer came down upon her head. Bang, bang, Maxwell's silver hammer.
Anyways, they were playing clips of like basically the Republicans making light of it. And then they played the clip of Obama and Biden saying that it's the rhetoric is a problem.
All right. You know
What do y'all
what?
think?
I look, they probably shouldn't be making jokes about this because I mean, like I said, I don't know how serious this thing is with her husband or whatever. Like he's had surgery or whatever. I feel bad for the guy, but you know, it's kind of funny that they try to take the high horse when it's one of theirs, and then when it's somebody else, you just you're not stepping up and trying to show that we still have a democracy when it's somebody on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where I'm like, they're hypocrites. They're upset that one of theirs is harmed, but when other people are getting harmed on the other side, it's just kind of like, oh well, I guess just cannon fodder. It just is what it is. Like they don't give a shit. So it's pretty freaking ironic.
This story right here, it says at least 141 people were killed after a pedestrian bridge collapsed in Morbi, India, which sent hundreds of people into the Machu River. The bridge, which was constructed in the late 1800s and has been a popular tourist attraction, had just recently reopened after undergoing repairs. While an exact cause of collapse is unknown, several factors are believed to have contributed to the disaster. The first is overcrowding that exceeded the bridge weight limits. Likewise, footage moments before the collapse show a group of young men rocking the bridge back and forth. Lastly, there have been verified claims by local officials that the bridge was reopened before undergoing stress tests. Indian authorities have arrested 9 people, including 2 construction contractors who worked on the bridge. The other arrests consist of workers and security at the bridge for failing to maintain crowds. This is sad right here.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, damn, this is wild.
Joa tu nanti, shooting mo tayo. Shooting mo tayo. Buran dia lainnya, buran dia. Buran dia lainnya, buran dia. क्या है shooting? Joa tu nanti.
Yeah, man. It's really sad. I ain't gonna lie, I don't like crowds like that. So I already know I wouldn't have been on there. I already would have felt uncomfortable.
Yep, me too. That's what I'm saying. But I mean, just the fact that because I don't know how long this river is, how long this little walking suspension bridge is, but
and I don't trust man-made stuff anyways. I always be worried about something just malfunctioning. I don't like it when I see them cranes. I know about construction. Them damn cranes will fall over. Like that shit happens. And I major constructions like that, I don't trust that shit, man. They be fucking up too all the time.
yeah, but most of those things are man-made anyway. So I mean,
Yeah, I don't trust none of it. None of it. I don't trust it. I'm always doubting it.
I look. I'm a scary motherfucker any damn way. Some shit like that. Like I said, for that bridge, as long as it might. I don't know how long that bridge was. A quarter mile, half a mile.
There's too many people on here. I'd have been like, it's way too many people on there. I'm not
And
doing
then
this.
it's just one way. It's like, wait a minute, hold on. Like, I couldn't turn around right now if I wanted. Like, what?
Let me
I'm
read
sure
this.
there was-
It says Florida has been ruled by Republicans for 20 years. We rank 51st in unemployment benefits. We rank 45th in tax fairness. We rank 41st in access to health care. We rank 31st in housing affordability. It's time for change. It says also Florida ranks 25th in crime, 25th in healthcare, 42nd in childhood obesity, 48th in teachers' pay. It says men lie, women lie.
I heard 50. I heard 51st on something. What 51? I thought it was 50 states. Oh, they're talking about with DC included.
I guess so. 51st is like you worse than all the states. We gave you another slot, extra slot. You below the slot.
You know what I'm saying?
You're
like
the
you in
51st.
the
You're
negative.
the worst. Yeah, you
in
negative
the-
one.
Yeah.
That's
Because that's why it took me a second. I was like, wait a minute, hold on, 51st. How does that happen?
Yeah. This one is an old history thing. Hope they didn't blip me for that music in the last clip.
Jersey, and lawmen once called her the soul of the Black Liberation Army.
Chesimard went underground and then surfaced in the 1980s in Cuba under Fidel Castro's protection.
People have the right to free themselves from oppression by whatever means they deem possible. The thing that influenced me the most was history, reading and understanding that Black people struggle in history from Africa all the way up to the time that I was living in. It was not a process where people were enslaved, a history of struggling from taking over slave ships. For you know, I decided.
You decided.
Yeah, it was time.
It was time to
escape, to try to escape, and that's what I did. I escaped. It was a clean escape. No one was hurt. I planned it as well as I could plan it, and that's all I got to say about it.
It happened on November 2nd, 1979. Ms. Shakur broke out of the maximum security facility for women in Clinton.
Made her break this afternoon from the prison in Clinton, New Jersey.
So it says, this is a post. It says, the caption, y'all would have told on her. Y'all woke niggas would have publicly condemned her and canceled her. Y'all would have been ahead of the hound dogs to sniff her out.
I guarantee you somebody did during that time. What the hell was it Jesse Jackson? I'm sure he said some negative shit.
Let me keep reading. It says, y'all would have intellectually masturbated on her wanted poster. Y'all would have said she's fucking up the money and turned her in for the reward. It says, today marks the 43rd anniversary of the liberation of Assata Shakur on November 2nd, 1979. The escape began when 3 BLA New African Independence Movement members posing as prison visitors drew 45 pistols and took 2 correction officers hostage at Clinton Correctional Facility for Women. They seized the prison van and used it to flee the correctional facility with Shakur. In 1979, I was able to escape with the aid of some of my fellow comrades. I saw this as a necessary step, not only because I was innocent of the charges against me, but because I knew that in the racist legal system in the United States, I would receive no justice. I was also afraid that I would be murdered in prison. I later arrived in Cuba, where I'm currently living in exile as a political refugee. At this point, I think that it's important to make one thing very clear. I have advocated and I still advocate revolutionary changes in the structure and in the principles that govern the United States. I advocate self-determination for my people and all oppressed inside the United States. I advocate an end to the capitalist exploitation, the abolition of racist policy, the eradication of sexism, and the elimination of political repression. If this is a crime, then I am totally guilty. Sadaf Shakur. Yeah.
Yeah. I like I said, during that time, I guarantee you there was people who was trying to oust her and trying to get that reward. Maybe even people that was close to her that was a Black Panther right along with her. But
This caption, it says, facts, the boule, the so-called pro-Black conscious sellouts, wannabes, and other assortments would have offered her up for a liter of Pepsi and a bucket of KFC. Damn.
yeah, that's gangster.
It says they don't make women like this no more. It says, yep, they definitely would have condemned her in the name of their so-called righteousness. Telling you, these same people.
Well, I'm glad she was. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I do commend her because, like, it's a bunch of dudes that they get in jail regardless of their revolution. You know, maybe it's a tighter situation to try to get out of, but she broke out. She, you know what I'm saying, she was afraid for her life enough to where she risked breaking out of prison and then shit. How she get on? How did she get to Cuba?
That's a good question. I don't know, but freaking safe passage to Cuba and freaking that's another reason why Cuba, they so hard on Cuba. You know, they give Cuba a hard time. You know, because if it was a different country, then the United States would have been like, hey, give us such and such and such. Cuba was like, nah, we don't fuck with y'all like that. But if it had been somewhere else, they would have been like, okay, massa, yes sir, I'll go get that for you right now. Cuba not like that. Let me hear. I'm trying to remember what this is. I don't even remember what this is.
I just wanted to go ahead and make a video about something I have a unique experience in. So I directed a bunch of rappers, people like Gucci Mane, Snoop Dogg, Lil Yachty, the list goes on and on and on, okay? I learned a lot of things, and I have left the industry largely over my political beliefs, but there is something I want to impart to people to hopefully, make some sort of change happen. So I have a challenge to rappers, and I know some of you still follow me. I know a bunch of the celebrity blogs still follow me from trying to get news from music videos and things like that. So here's the truth. The truth is this: a bunch of young Black male rappers keep dying. You know who's not dying? Record executives. The record executives that push for them to continue to make songs and create a culture that is obsessed with death, drugs, and sex. Period. The industry is obsessed with it, but those record executives, they're not dying because they don't push this culture on their own people, but they're encouraging you to push it on yours, and they're paying you handsomely to do it. The reality is, I know a lot of you. A lot of you are good people. You're family guys. You're not the image that you put out there to the world. Why? Why don't you be the example? Stand up. I challenge you. Be the example. Make music about the culture you want to see. Don't just get online today and talk about how, whenever a rapper makes it, his own people take him down. Don't just make those videos. Don't be sad. Don't rest in peace. None of that stuff. Be the change you want to see. Inspire it in your community. Reach out to other rappers and say, we have to stop. We're being used. You've been used for a long time. You know, they create this paradigm to make you believe that you're so important and your celebrity status is worth so much, but in truth, you're a pawn in their game and you always have been. The government has wanted to hold down communities of people in different ways through different methods for a very long time. Their method in the Black community has been to use entertainment to create a culture obsessed with death, drugs, sex, and money, so that they could create a false paradigm of what happiness and what success really was. And in doing so, they created a world that also made people more dependent on government, and as a result, gave themselves more power. The record executives that push you to do this, to go and continue to profit off the backs of your work, they're in cahoots with the elite. They're in cahoots with the government. They want you to think you're important, but in truth, you're just doing their dirty work for them. So stop. They've empowered you in ways that are real. You have an audience. You have platforms. You have the ability to make change. So go against the grain together. They're more afraid of you all together standing up and creating a new culture that's built around family, faith, freedom, doing the right thing, valuing life, than they are of anything else. So I challenge you, use your power to do the right things. If you continue to do the same thing you've done, more rappers like this are going to die. How many have to die before you change the culture? And let me tell you something else. There's a reason the record labels pay us more to do rap videos. They don't tell you that, do they? Do they tell you that they pay us more to do your videos? Because they do. They do it because they know it's more dangerous. They do it because they know it's more difficult. And they do it because, frankly, there's a lot of money laundering involved. Those labels wash a bunch of money through. We don't do it, but we know the labels are doing it 100%. Okay, they're then taking the money off the top end, and you see on your royalty check, oh, they spent $150,000 on this video. Did they? Because we didn't see $150,000. Okay, and to who? Their friend's company? A lot of times that's the case. Same thing with insurance companies. They charge us more to insure your videos, and it's because they know the culture that's been created. They know that the only possibility of a music video being shot up is on a rap video. And that's the truth. So change the culture. You have the power. Your people deserve it.
Wow, that's pretty powerful. Let me read some comments. It says, the power of change is on us. Stop supporting our own genocide. Reject any and everything that demeans our people, including our brought and paid for people and all the corporate sponsors. And another comment, it says, maybe they would listen to a white man tell them the truth because they definitely don't listen to us. This is kind of what I was saying earlier. Like, I feel like the internet, because of this recent death, the internet is kind of like, I saw Mos Def post some stuff about it. And people are saying, you know, we got to just like say no to that music. And stop listening to it and stop making that kind of music. Yeah, I'm about to wrap it.
In Pan-Africanism.
I wanted to play some of that, but I'm probably not going to be able to. Dr. Umar.
Shoot, it's almost that time for me.
Yeah, man. I'm going to just wrap it because I got to go to class in the morning. I'll be tired. Yeah, so peace and love. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for listening. And we'll be back tomorrow. All right.
Chill.
All right, man. Peace.